I am going to be making, oh, you don't need to see the pan, hello. For the rutabaga soup, I'm going to do it kind of like a potato soup. So I'm going to bake up some bacon, and we'll show you about that part in a little bit. So the bacon is going to go in my oven. I got a gloved hand, so I can only use one hand. I got it on 350. Hang on, I'm going to have to have Alexa set a timer. I don't want to mess up. Okay, so I did that. They don't all fit, and one of the things we're doing in a little bit involves bacon. So I had turkey bacon, but since I'm already using rutabaga instead of potatoes for some potato soup, I didn't want to lock myself in with too many fake random flavors. So I figure I'll use real bacon. And plus whatever I don't use, I can freeze and use for something else. We're going to do a couple different soups today. Like I said, I'm going to do a rutabaga soup instead of potato soup. And we're going to do, we're going to end up doing a fall soup with, that one's going to be with the, oh my gosh, what are those things called? Dadgummit, Terry. Hang on, I can't think of talk and do at the same time. Squash, butternut squash. We're going to do a butternut squash soup later, which that one I won't use the bacon for. But those are the two kind of soups we're going to make today. And so I'm like, well, that'll be something fun. And I'm not going to try to make a whole bunch of servings of it because it may be gross. So with 2 servings, I can, I can not cry about throwing away 1 serving of something I don't like. But for now, I'm going to, got to turn the oven on, Terry. So anyway, so I'm going to work on browning, cooking this bacon, and then the bacon that's in the oven is going to cook for 45 minutes. And we'll move on to that when we get there. So I've got my bacon, it's done cooking. I'm going to pour the grease out into a dish because I'm going to use some of it later, but I think the excess, this is a mixture of the bacon and the pork grease, but the excess I can use for cooking stuff. So I want to go on and pour the majority of it out. Then I can do what I need to in the skillet later. I can put back what I don't, I can put in what I want to use, but by letting everything cool down and sit, I can move on to the next thing. So that'll be the bacon that I'll use in our rutabaga soup later. And I'll be using some of this grease to saute up some onions, but we'll get there. So I've been watching some videos on rutabagas and how to do stuff with them. And in the video, they cut off the bottom and they cut off the top. And then what they do is, I'm not going to be able to do it at an angle where you can watch. They peel down from the top. Peel down from the top. Peel down from the top. I'm trying to speed this up because it's kind of a long video. So if I can speed up where I can, it helps. But you can see I've just cut off both ends and I'm shaving down as much as I can of the outer peeling. And that's how it's working. That's what they do in a lot of the YouTube videos that I watched here for trying to figure out how to peel a rutabaga. We got 2 more of these rutabagas and then I'll be back. Sorry, I got carried away. There was a really good song on the radio and I was just raising my hands and singing to the Lord. Alright, so I cut it in slices, and then I'm slicing the slices, and I'm gonna put it in the bowl, in this. I'm gonna put them in this thing, this poor piddle thing. I've used it so many times with like a mixer or beater inside of it, and so it's all beat up. However, the top has holes in it, so it's perfect for pouring the water out after things are done. So I'm gonna put some water in it. I just realized that I also want to do, because the one's gonna be, some is for soup and some is for just plain old. I'm gonna try mashed rutabaga. So I need more boiled than just that. So, okay, so I've sliced them all in half. Now I'm gonna cut them in strips. I'm gonna cut those strips into maybe, I don't know, there, that size, whatever size this is, and some of them are not. So, this is probably too big, too much water, but you know. There we go. I'm going to go set this on the stove to start boiling. So, rutabaga. It's like a very, very, very mild jicama. I mean, turnip. It's got a little sweet flavor to it. It's not the same texture as jicama. Like a turnip, I think. And like, it cooked. Whenever you know how I roasted the jicama, it still had that crunchiness. This doesn't do that. So, like I said, it's kind of like a sweet turnipy flavor, but not that strong peppery bite that you get from a turnip. My bacon's done, so I'm going to pull it out and put it with the other bacon, and I'll strain out the liquid gold down there and add it to. So all the bacon is done. I'm going to cut that up. I'm going to find my knife here. And just kind of give it a rough chop at first. So I will say the recipes that you're seeing, I do a lot of YouTube watching in the evening time or morning time, and I think, well, what could I do with this, or what am I in the mood for? Well, I was in the mood, you know, since I knew I had the rutabaga, and I was like, well, what are some things that, as somebody who doesn't eat potatoes, what are some things that people who are eating potatoes would enjoy that I'm not eating? Well, my coworker just this week had potato soup, and so I thought to myself, hey, that's something I could make. So I went out online and I was watching some rutabaga soup, and I watched some potato soup videos. I always watch a bunch of different ones because, you know, every person has their own version. So the one who I got the bacon part from, which I don't remember who I got all the other things from, but I was watching that chef Jean-Pierre, who I love to watch, and he is not low carb at all, but he's a professional chef. And I can watch anybody and think to myself, hey, maybe if I use this instead or this instead, and you can do the same thing. You just got to kind of open your mind and think, okay, well, they're using this, but maybe I could do this or that. So for his potato soup, cooked up some bacon, and then he browned or sauteed his onion in the bacon grease with some of the bacon. Well, I haven't done the math yet, so what I'd like to do is do the math to see how much and how many calories and how many carbs and all that is before I do the soup part, because I want to know, like with just plain rutabaga, I already know what 200 grams is. But with the soup, I'm going to be adding in some cream and adding in some bacon and maybe some cheese. So yeah, so I still got to do the math on all that, but I wanted to get the prep work done. Plus, whatever's left over from this, I can just freeze or use this bacon, because I mean, you know, I use bacon in my breakfast muffins, so I can use this bacon in my muffins. All right, and we're back to the skillet. I'm going to saute up some onions. This is 100 grams of onions. Now we're about to make the soup portion. So, and I'll read to you all the things that are going in my soup. It's going to be 200 grams of rutabaga. It's going to be 2 tablespoons of cream, 1/4 cup of cheese, and 63 grams of bacon, 50 grams of onion, 1 teaspoon of bacon fat, and 100 grams of cabbage. So that's going to be in one serving. So I'm going to be doubling all that in the soup portion. And I'm also going to have some of my chicken stock that I have over there. But I can't really count it. I don't know. I'll figure out how to put some in. But anyway, so together without the chicken stock, that's 628 calories, 18.3 protein, 22 carbs, and 50 fat. So this is going to be just one meal. So that's all the stuff that's in this one meal that I'm going to make of a soup. And when it's all done, I may decide that I maybe want, Terry, I may decide that I want that to be broken down into 3 meals or 4 meals. I do not know. But that's just kind of just a way to get me started, and then I can decide the rest of it. So I've got that going. So when this is sauteed, I'll come back to you. So I've got my cabbage shredded up. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the onions. Now Jean-Pierre said he used corn as something to give it texture. And I'm not using corn. But I'll use my bacon pieces. I'll use that at the tail end. So I don't want raw cabbage in it. So I'm going to get this cabbage cooked down. And then we'll go to the next step of our soup. Can you imagine all the smells in my house right now? I mean, we've had, for starting the morning, we've had seared beef short ribs. We seared those in this skillet. Cooked sausage in this skillet. Cooked bacon in this skillet. Cooked eggs in this skillet. Onions in this skillet. Rutabagas. So this skillet has been going to town. So can you imagine? Oh, I didn't add any salt or pepper. Can you imagine how this smells in my house and how yummy it is? Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know what seasonings people use for, oh yeah, that was salt and then no salt. I've got this, I just want to kind of use it up. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure what seasonings he used, when I say he, I'm talking Jean-Pierre, in his potato soup. I'm not sure what seasonings he used. The au gratin rutabaga, it had to go back in for 7 more minutes. Let me see where it's at. It's getting there. I'd like it to go a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was 30 minutes, then 14 minutes, and now I'm adding another 5 minutes. So 44, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 50 minutes is about how long the total is going to be on the au gratin style rutabaga. Scalloped. I don't know. The YouTube people say that there's a difference in au gratin and scalloped. Don't ask me what it is, but I think one of them has cheese and cream and I don't know. Anyway, so these are the ones that are going to go to mashed. So I'm just going to make some mashed rutabaga. Where's my masher? Let me wash my masher. Hang on. So let's work on the mashed rutabaga. I'm going to pull it forward so I can reach it better. I'm going to put in some salt. I did have some salt in it while it was boiling. I'm just going to rough chop it. Listen, I'm telling you, if you're watching this video and it's 2 hours long, it's because I was not able to edit this video. And sometimes I step away thinking I'm going to edit out something. So there's like a long portion of silence. So if I was not able to edit that out, I apologize. It's just going to be how it is. I can't help it. I try to remember to pause it, but sometimes I'm like, oh, let me step out of the way, and then I'll edit that 25, 30 seconds out. Let's see how that tastes. Oh, man. That's definitely better than jicama ever could have been. Wow. I'm doing a little more salt. Sorry, jicama. I'm turning my back to you. Unless they run out of rutabaga. Like this winter time, you know, I'm sure they may not be an all year round thing, you know. So that's how I'm going to do my mashed rutabaga. I don't want to add a bunch of garlic, onion and stuff like that. I'm just going to use it just plain like that. You could probably put, oh man, amazing. You could probably put butter or bacon or cheese or whatever your little heart desires. But like I said, I'm very calorie focused, so I don't want to add anything else that's going to mess with the calories. So, all right, I'm going to divvy that up and get ready for the next step of the soup. Okay, the mashed rutabaga oh my gosh. The mashed rutabaga made 4 of these. So that's 4 rutabaga mashes. So let's get going on this soup. I put the rutabaga, the two servings of rutabaga in this bowl, or in this container. Now I'm going to swap it and put it right there. And I'm going to add the cabbage and onions to it. There we go. All right. Throw that away. Let me set this over here. Well, it can sit there, that's fine. All right, so I need to add, I've got it on low to keep it warm. I'm going to mash it just a little bit. And then I'm going to get my immersion blender out, which I might have regrets about, but I have to add the liquid and the other part to it. But I just want to mash it a little bit, just kind of get that stuff in there together. That might have been not very bright. I'm going to pause you because I'm going to get all this off. Hang on. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of cream. Oops, that's 3. Oh. All right, 2 tablespoons of cream. I'll put this back in the freezer. And then I'm going to heat that Jean-Pierre. Now, if you look him up on YouTube, he's really funny. But he says you want enough broth to cover your vegetables. So I'll go with that for the moment. He said you can always add more broth. So I'm gonna cover that. I'm gonna let that all kind of mix in together, and then and melt the heavy creams, and then we'll immersion blender it all. All right, we're breaking out the immersion blender. We're gonna see how this works. This is a consistency right there. It's a little more like baby food, which isn't a horrible thing, but I think I'm going to make it a little thinner. So hang on, I'm going to grab a little more of the broth. Yeah, there. I'll put the rest of that broth in there. And let me go on and blend that up. That's better. That's why I said the servings, until I see it, it might be in thirds. Damn. Get off there, fella. That's a piece of cabbage. Don't come at me in the comments. I didn't stick it back in there, so. So this would be a Rutabaga cabbage soup. And I don't have the bacon and cheese in it yet, so. I want to see. I'm going to divide it into these 2 servings and see what I get, and then I'll show you whether I decide to make it 2 or 3. Okay, so I put it in 2 servings, and I have the bacon and cheese right here. And so what I'll do is I'll put a lid on these, and I'll label them. I think I'll put like Rutabaga soup, and then I'll have something in there so I know what to choose. But anyway, so what I'll do is whenever I pull one out of the refrigerator, I'll microwave it for a couple minutes, add this to it, then microwave it for another minute. So yeah, so that's what I got. 2 servings of this. These are going to replace my suppers or lunches. So that's why it's 600 and some odd calories, because I was looking at calories, not carbs. So these are definitely a higher carb meal. But like I said, I only made 2, so I am not that stressed about it. So I'll put these away in my refrigerator, and you'll see me eating these sometime soon. Hey, here is the macros for this soup. You can see the calories, protein, carbs, and all that good stuff. I just want to show you how it's going to look as I put it in the chronometer. So this is the Rutabaga soup. I just microwaved it for 2 minutes. And now I'm going to add the bacon and cheese. Whoop. Stir it up a little bit. It's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock and all's well. I'm going to get this all stirred in, and then I'm going to microwave it for another minute. Hi, buddy. Boy, let me tell you, as I've been cooking today, these dogs have been all in my business. All right, I'll do this one more minute. All right. I can't zoom in because I'm using my phone instead of the usual recording app because I'm doing a bunch of editing. But that is what it looks like, man. Let me just do it this way. Look at that. It's got rutabaga, it's got bacon, it's got cheese, it's got some cabbage. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm gonna taste it with the bacon, but I'm gonna burn myself. But I don't want to have to pause because I'm already having to do 2 takes, so hang on. All right, yeah, I got my hair up and looking wild now. I'm not kidding. Y'all should try this. If you ever have made potato soup or like to potato soup. No, it's not exactly potato soup, but this is better. This is awesome. I love this. 2 thumbs up for me. Okay, bye.